It's a special day, I think. I can't remember. Is there anything special about today?
Well, are they doing a Lord of the Rings marathon?
It's either Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones.
No, I think it was Harry Potter.
Oh, okay. Well,
Han is definitely Gryffindor.
How'd you know? Just kidding. If it's not obvious by all of our shirts. And yeah, so it's not really a show. We're just gonna live stream and just chat, and hopefully some people will roll in here. And we were talking about the Bad Batch really briefly. And what the hell is that? When did you get that?
It was a Christmas present that I haven't planted yet. But yeah, did you know they made the child Chia Pets?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad got it for me this Christmas, and then they also got me a clapper.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Just thought I'd bring those out of like gathering dust just to show this.
Good. Yeah, you need to start you should like document the potter like as it's growing.
Until the baby disappears.
Until the baby disappears. Yeah.
Oh, he should do one of those TikTok videos, right? So like, yeah, like he records it, and then he puts it out fast, so it watches it do it real fast.
I mean, if I copy Han too much, I may break off a knuckle because the knuckles are on this thing. So I don't know if I should do that.
So embarrassing. It's repaired. Anyway, happy May the 4th to you guys. Happy Star Wars Day.
Hey!
I haven't decided if I'm gonna keep this video up like afterwards, like if unlisted or public, I'm not sure, but we're just gonna have fun and just talk and hang out. And I guess we're gonna kind of have to avoid some spoilers for Bad Batch since Dean hasn't quite finished yet.
I didn't think it was going to be nearly an hour and a half long. I got off work, turned it on, and then all of a sudden it was, I'm not going to be able to finish this before we hop on the stream. I was like, it's an hour and 15. It is 6:30. So I'm like right at the point of, and before we even go into spoilers in general, I'd like for us to give the warning. But I'm at this certain point where it's just like, oh, this is going to get interesting.
That was a nice surprise though, right? That it was 72.
It was.
So I'm so sad. So I'm the only one that watched it fully, the whole thing, all the way through. Oh, okay. Oh, so Dean, you're the only one that didn't.
Yeah,
finish
Han finished it literally. I think me and him I was probably 10 minutes behind him.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Yeah,
and then I looked at the clock because me and him were texting during it as well, a little bit, not really details, but it was just like, I'm watching right now, and it's like, I am too, but I don't think I'll get to finish it yet.
Like 30 seconds before we got on this stream, it ended. So it was like, it was rough. And this isn't a spoiler, but I do want to start by saying when it ends and it shows, the first thing it shows is created by Dave Filoni. That meant so much because it's like, wow, he totally filled in the shoes now of George. And because like that's what it said at the end of Clone Wars, every episode created by George. And now he's got that title in that position, which I don't know. I thought that was really cool. It kind of meant a lot to me when I saw that. And I mean, you should expect it, but I don't know. It was something I didn't quite expect to see since I don't know if he's related day to day in this project.
I feel like he kind of is at this point. I feel like he's just kind of stitching everything together now. Like it's a very high level, but regardless, I think he's always in the room of Star Wars decisions now. And if he's not, then Disney's still doing something wrong.
Yeah, I completely agree. Right, Dave Filoni is the apprentice, and George Lucas was the master, and of course, what happens eventually is the apprentice becomes the master. And like you said, Han, and now Dave Filoni is the master of this animated show because it's not a direct, because you saw what they did at the beginning, right? They did the Clone Wars, and then they put the Bad Batch logo over the Clone Wars logo, and it started
Yep.
just like the Clone Wars.
All-
Exactly.
All I'm hearing Lando say right now is that Lucas actually came up with the rule of 2 based on himself. That's all I'm hearing.
Well, it's true, right? Because in Sith lore, the whole point of a master and apprentice is for the apprentice to overthrow the master. And if you can't overthrow the master, then yeah, you're basically a wasted Sith. So yeah.
Definitely. What before we, I guess, before we talk about what spoilers we can, what like general thoughts and of this show, like from the start to the end, how it's different and similar to Clone Wars or other animated stuff. And I don't know, Lando, why don't you start?
First off, like I said, without being too spoilers, I absolutely love this show. I love this first episode. Like I said, it was 70 minutes, and I believe if you haven't watched the Clone Wars and got introduced to the Bad Batch in the last season of the Clone Wars, you could actually start this episode and be okay, because it does give you a lot of info at the beginning. It explains what characteristics each of the Bad Batch have a few times through the episode, but the episode really focused on Hunter and Crosshair, which I absolutely love. I love themes in shows, and like when I did the Mandalorian shows weekly, when I did them on on our podcast, I always talked about themes. And straight out of the gate, you get this nice theme of Hunter and Crosshair, where Hunter is like the moral compass of the show, and you're with him a lot. Like I feel if you never watched it, you would think he's the main character, probably, of the Bad Batch. But I love the way the theme was, and it started really early on, so kind of not spoiler, where Crosshair was like, hey, we should be doing the job. We should be doing the job. And then Hunter's more of that moral compass going, well, we don't have to like do this or what, because right, it just starts out Order 66, right? I mean, literally starts out Order 66 happens pretty much. So, I mean, it hits the ground running. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought there was a good pace. I thought the pacing was excellent. It had just enough action, just enough slow moments to get to know the characters, and then getting introduced to older characters that popped up in other things, popped in there, and then getting introduced to new characters like Omega. And it was lovely, and learning more about Kamino. I thought that was amazing. Sorry, the nerd's going to pop out in me. Once again, I like stuff getting more fleshed out, beside Luke's hand being in a thing for snow. But we could talk about that another time. I love stuff getting fleshed out, and I thought this just fleshed out cloning, the Kaminoans, their facility, just how it gets run, Tarkin, and the Empire. I just absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved all the information that we got. I absolutely love the Bad Batch characters. I'm in love with Hunter. I wasn't this much in love with these characters when I watched the Clone Wars. I thought they were cool. I thought these guys are like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, group, mutated clones that were super cool, right? And I ended up, after this episode, my favorite character is Hunter, the leader. And Tech is good, Echo's good. Crosshair is absolutely amazing. His character arc in this episode is absolutely amazing. And then Wrecker, everybody loves Wrecker. He's like your Michelangelo, so.
Wrecker's everyone's dumb cousin.
So yeah, 2 thumbs up from Lando.
I like
over
explosions.
Here.
Exactly.
I like to start cafeteria fights.
Speaking of the cafeteria fight, Crosshair, did anybody get like Captain America vibes for a quick second when he picked up the tray and he goes, "We'll do it," and
Oh,
it
yeah.
bounces off 2 people, and I'm like, okay, there's the next Cap.
Star Wars Captain America.
Or Captain Galaxy. There we go.
There you go. Well, yeah, Dean, what about you? I mean, yeah, I know you haven't seen the full thing yet, but
So
like, first impressions.
I'm loving it. Kind of everything that Lando said, like they're really just feeding into fleshing out these characters. And it just leaves so much to interpret. So I'm up to basically the last 10-15 minutes before I had to stop watching to hop onto this. And it was they were just taking off to go to that mission that clearly a trap, but don't know what the trap entails just yet. But I kept getting, and I don't know if y'all agree with me, I'm really interested in the Omega character and fleshing her out more, because part of me is like, is that a Jedi, like part, or not Jedi, but Force sensitive being that the communities are trying to do? Just that's where my mind instantly goes. Don't know if that's gonna be revealed later on. So, but basically, I really liked that aspect of just introducing this new character. I'm really excited for the possible cameos throughout this whole season. I'm really hoping that we get more than just this one season, just based off of the first 50 hour, the first episode. So I'm just seeing this as a really strong opening to another Clone Wars style series, and I'm really excited to see what else is coming.
Yeah, it was good. For me, I mean, I didn't watch any of the trailers or any of the TV spots. I was going to do like a reaction, and then like I just got really busy. A bunch of stuff was going on, and I just fell short. And so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait and like just surprise myself. And I was freaking surprised. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. Like when they first said they were like, "Oh, we're going to do this Bad Batch series after Clone Wars." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, really? Like that's what you're going to do? Like those characters that I really didn't like at the beginning of season 7, but they were way better in this movie or first episode, whatever
Felt
you
like a
want to
movie
call
though.
it.
It felt like a movie.
Yeah, I actually learned a little bit more about each of them, and I thought it was real. It was really great to see Echo in it as well. You know, considering his past in the Clone Wars and kind of following through to another show. But yeah, the animation of it was fantastic. In some ways, it was better than the last season of the Clone Wars. Like its fluidity, the texture of the characters, the paint. And it was just, I feel like this is like, as I'm watching it, I was like, man, this is probably what George Lucas envisioned this could be. And it was so different than other things we've seen. Like, it's similar to the old Clone Wars and stuff, but it's so different than other animation styles. And that's what stood out to me a lot. But also Lando, like you said, the pacing is excellently paced, and the blocking, the camera movements, everything. It really felt like this was like a high budget animated feature film, not a TV show. And it was done really well. It took me by surprise. And like you guys said too, the characters, all the new characters. Wow. Caleb at the beginning. Never thought I would attach to that guy. Caden, is that what it is?
Canon. It's Canon from Rebels. You
Oh,
guys didn't know that?
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think it was Kanan. I kept hearing Caleb.
I heard Caleb.
When he first
but
came,
that's Freddie Prinze Jr.'s voice, and
that's what I thought at first. Is like Kane, when he came down the hill, I heard Kanan, and I'm like, oh, and then they started saying,
too.
And then I heard Caleb after, and I was like,
are you sure he didn't change his name?
I don't know. He was always his name was always Kanan. I'm pretty sure. Now you have me Googling in the middle.
I'm pretty sure this is him. I'm pretty sure that's him, and this is how he got away.
Does the chat know?
Because 66.
You're right.
I'm surprised you guys didn't pick up on that.
Well, I heard Kanan, and then I kept hearing
Caleb. It was Caleb. It was Caleb because I watched it with the closed captions on, and it was Caleb. But I still thought, well, maybe he just changed his name because he had to change his name, and that's still him.
From the second I saw him, I was like, oh my God, it's young Kanan. It was the name that
changed
threw me
it.
off.
Yeah, he changed it to Hyde. Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
So there's our Rebels like connection.
Okay,
Yep.
then that makes that character even better for me.
Right?
Oh my
No,
god.
that's why I was so excited at the beginning of this too,
Yep,
because I was
wow.
like, I was like,
So-
oh, Freddie Prinze Jr. I was like, that's Kanan.
Kanan Jarrus changed his name from Caleb Doom. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I did hear Kanan right. So they definitely said Kanan the first time. Just to give people who didn't pick up on it, and I see that my camera froze. So I'll fix that in just a second.
Oh, you're good.
What are you looking at?
I'm
He's
looking at
really
y'all.
shocked.
Let's see. But basically, when they said that, they definitely said Kanan as he came down the hill, so they probably gave us that shout out to kind of for that to click for people. And then all of a sudden they switched it back to Caleb. So and then that's what kept me thrown off because I heard Kanan, then Caleb, and I did not put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, because that's in my notes with Master Deepa Bilaba. So that was the Jedi at the beginning.
Wow. Thanks for pointing that out. Now I have to rewatch it because when I thought it was him, and then I guess we lost Dean. He'll come back.
He'll be back.
I thought it was him, and I was like really excited, and then I started hearing another name. I couldn't match the voice. I never could. I was a little thrown off because I was like,
immediately.
this is like a little kid, but this is like a full-grown adult voice. But oh my god, it's Kanan. That's amazing. I hope he comes back in this season then. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, because everything was great where he ran away and he didn't know what to trust and this is what I like because we all see Order 66 like in the movies and we kind of saw it in the Clone Wars, but like this gave us like a alternate version of Order 66 with a Padawan, with a master, and then watching the master die, but then following the Padawan, being confused. He's with the Bad Batch, but he's confused. He doesn't know what's going on. He can't trust anybody. And then, like I said, once again, the thing with Hunter and Crosshair, this is where it starts because Hunter's saying, hey, throws his gun down. Hey, I'm here to help. What's Crosshair doing? I got it. He's shooting him. I mean, he's trying to shoot him out of the tree. And so you get that Hunter versus Crosshair right at the beginning. That's what I loved about this episode, man. Like I said, you love like Star Wars and poetry. Like this episode just started with Hunter versus Crosshair and it ended with Hunter versus Crosshair. So sorry, Dean. Like so when you get to the end, like it starts that way and it ends that way, and it's just so perfect. The storyline was so well written. Once again, well written. We love well written storylines, and this was so well written.
Yes, 100%. I mean, I'm still like in shock because I have to go back and rewatch it because it totally changes how I view that opening scene, which I already loved, but now I like it even more.
Like I swear I heard Kanan the first time, and then they kept saying Caleb, and I just did not put that 1 and 1 together, 2 and 2 together, whatever the saying is. But I was just, that changed that whole first scene. And sorry for my camera, I'm giving up on it. It keeps freezing.
Oh, you're good. Wow. Okay, that was blew my mind. Well, the other character that I really loved too that was introduced, like you said, Lando, was Omega, and I wasn't sure how I felt about her when she first popped up, but then I don't want to ruin anything, but oh my god, she's amazing. And
yeah, I have a theory. Like I said, I don't think this will ruin anything for Dean, but my theory. Dean thinks she's Force sensitive. I have a different theory. I think she has all of the Bad Batch's abilities. That's my theory.
Like what?
Like
super
because it seems like she can sense things before they happen, which is right a Jedi trait. But that's also Hunter's kind of special ability to be able to sense.
Oh right.
I think she has all of their. She's like the super one, right? She's the one. That's just my theory. My theory is I think she genetically has all of their special abilities in one. That's just my guess.
No, it's a good theory, especially being the Omega in a figurative way. But yeah, that was
true.
It's a good idea. And if anyone is watching live, and you want to share your thoughts, go right ahead. We'll try and engage with you all. I saw a couple people here. Robin, Josh, welcome. Goku Black Q, welcome. Never seen you before. How you guys doing? Share your thoughts below. We'll get to them. So, and of course, it brought back in Tarkin, which made me happy, which is what I kind of suspected would happen. And let me pull him up here. He is obviously very suspicious of the Bad Batch. Actually, wait, before I talk about that, there was something I texted.
Why is he so
girlfriend.
old? Why is he so old?
Oh, right. Since like, if
Why
you
is he
go
so
to
old?
Revenge of the Sith, he was a lot younger, and now he's like, he's got Obi-Wan Kenobi syndrome. He just.
That was my only beef with this. Is why does he look so old?
I know, right? It's anyway. And so I was texting my girlfriend.
Sorry.
Right when I finished it, and I was like, because we were supposed to watch it last night and just didn't. And I texted her. I was like, "Oh my god, it's really good. A lot better than I thought. Get ready to watch it." Because she was saying, like me, it's not a priority. Like it's not high up on the list of like. I need to watch it right away. But then I texted her that and she was like, "Oh my god, that's so good to hear." So it's actually the good batch. And I just thought it was cute. So just wanted to point that out. Anyway,
Hey,
Tarkin.
the sad batch, like the regs and the No, there's great moments. Like I said, there's great moments which you get from the Clone Wars where the regs give the Bad Batch crap because they're like they're the mutated versions of the clones and more like the sad batch. That's what started the cafeteria fight.
Exactly.
I did enjoy the cafeteria fight though. Like it was a nice little comedic twist that we usually don't get in Star Wars.
Yeah, you've never seen a mess hall fight. And the last mess hall we saw was The Mandalorian, where, Din just took his helmet off conveniently and had a face scan in the cafeteria. Conveniently.
I don't know why, but I kept getting flashbacks to Spider-Man 2001. Or was it 2000? I can't remember when that movie came out.
2000. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, that's an old movie.
We're getting old.
Have you guys watched it recently in recent years?
I've not.
The original
recently.
Spider-Man?
The original one, yeah.
I think I watched it maybe 2 years ago. To me, it still holds up, kind of. It's just you can definitely tell that it's an old movie now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it does not hold up.
I think the overall premise does, like the overall story. Now, like when it comes to the filming style and quality, oh, that thing is late '90s style. I'm not.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
How it's
I'm talking about
technicality.
I'm talking about the high level story and like the fight scenes, kind of, and that kind of stuff. To me, they still hold up, but it's just like the old '90s style. I'm so glad that that's not the thing anymore.
Yeah, it was a very experimental style because it was Sam Raimi, who was a horror director, which I think is still amazing. But yeah, I watched it a couple months ago and it was like, wow, this just would not work today. But it was so big, like when it came out, it's like, but yeah, the story still, it holds up. It's one of the best mythologies.
To go back to the Bad Batch, I wanted to highlight this before I forget about it. And this is what I love about the Clone Wars, the animated, the droids. The droid humor was there right at the beginning when they were getting like wiped out. And like they get wiped out, and one of the droids was just like, "Well, I guess now I'm in charge."
Yeah, right?
It's just funny. I love the little droid humor they put in there, and they had it there at the beginning, which it wasn't there, any other time. But yeah, kudos to the droid humor. I absolutely love it.
I didn't think about that. I'm gonna miss the droids in like the animated stuff. I did like it was a medical droid, the one with Omega.
Oh, wait. So like I said, I took notes. So I have his number. So hold on. It's AZ 345-211-89-624-6498-721347.
Oh Jesus.
So what made you write that down before I ask questions or ask you to type it in the chat?
I just thought it was crazy. I absolutely love the medical droid. In the AZ, it was Omega's droid, and like so when he said his name, he's just like, "I'm AZ," and you think he's just I'm AZ 3425. But no, he like spatted off about 20 numbers, and I thought that was funny. And so like I wrote them all down.
That is so funny. I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah.
And that, like I said, I watched the full thing, but I was like trying to set up the stream while I was watching it, so I didn't pick up like every number. Like
look, if anybody knows Lando from Sithtalkers, I take notes.
But I don't.
Gosh, I'm gonna move you to the front because you're hosting the show. Here we go.
I take notes during, but it's typically just little side notes on my phone. You realize this is not Marvel, right? And you don't have to look for every license plate number. Like, you know that, right?
No. But this reminded me of The Mandalorian. So when we did the Mandalorian shows and we reviewed them, I watched them once, and then the second time I watched them, I took notes. So because I have to like enjoy it and be enthralled in it. Unfortunately, I knew I was only going to get to watch this once before we talked about this, so I took notes as I watched it today.
And that makes sense.
But I'm going to go watch it after we're done with this and not take notes. Because like, yeah, I'm pausing it, writing stuff down, writing stuff down. But
well, like I don't. This shows how much like how good I think this show is. I don't watch TV more than once. The entire Mandalorian season 1 and 2, I've watched one time. I just don't feel the need to watch it again. I've watched the Luke Skywalker scene more than once, but like, and the crate dragon.
So you'll watch scenes 100 times, but then the episode once.
Exactly. Yeah, I just there's something about it I just can't do. With movies, I can watch over and over. And Clone Wars, I've only seen once. Rebels, I do watch more than once. I don't know why, but I think because I'm showing my girlfriend. But with this episode, I'm going to go watch it again when we're done because there's something different about this. And does anyone know? I'm going to look it up. The director of this episode?
There was 3 different directors. I didn't write any of them down, but there was 3 different directors. So there could have, and that's what I was, the length of this, it probably could have been, spliced up into like 2 or 3 separate episodes if they really wanted.
That makes sense. Yeah. I do know oftentimes with big animated features, which I guess we would kind of consider this a feature length story, is they have sometimes 2 or 3 directors. Look at Into the Spider-Verse. That had 3
great
directors.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And so usually like one director will be in charge of like background animation, one will be in charge of like 3D animation, the other's in charge of 2D, things like that. So like I don't know if you remember when I talked to Brian Kessinger of the old Lucasfilm story artist from, I forget which, Little Kylo Stories or something, but he was saying when he worked on Tarzan, there was 2 different directors for that, and one was for the like moving parts, and the other director was just for backgrounds and just directing the artists to draw certain sets and stuff like that. So maybe that's something about this. I'm trying to look up the director here, but I can't, or directors here.
Yeah, I do know there was 3.
Here we go. Okay, so season 1, episode 1, Stuart Lee, Saul Ruiz, and Nathaniel Villanueva, I think. That's a tough one. Okay, I've never heard of any of these names before. So, okay, it looks like they've all directed episodes of the Clone Wars in the past. So they're not new to Star Wars. And they also made Star Wars Resistance.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the other thing that they worked on was Batman: The Killing Joke.
Ooh, that's actually a really good animated cartoon too.
Oops, I think Dean's out again. Here we go.
There he is.
I switched
There we go.
browsers. During this, it kept saying that my camera was disconnecting from my browser, so I downloaded Chrome because this is a new computer where I did not have Chrome installed. So that's why you saw me randomly drop and then come back.
Well, I saw on the backstage it had 2 Deans for a second. I was like, wait a minute. He just teleported somewhere. It's a multiverse. and now he's frozen again.
Is it real?
But-
Oh my god.
Oh, he's froze again.
I give up. I give up.
Misa,
Yes.
Misa give up. Misa give up.
Be my apprentice. Learn to use the dark side of the Force. Good. Execute Order 66.
Oh, did you like hearing Palp's Senate speech in the episode? I thought it was
That was
good.
awesome.
Yeah,
And
I'm so
We got a
glad
little
they
bit of a
brought in-
different spin on it.
Yes, and it gives you a different perspective of the clones because this is all they see. So it would come, and even the Bad Batch, they're just like, well, heck, is this the truth? Why wouldn't you think that was the truth? Because that's the only side you're seeing is the leader going, it says left me scarred. And Records popping a joke about it. But yeah, it was just interesting because I remember Yoda saying something about how the clones, the repercussion of the clones after Order 66 when he was talking to Obi-Wan, but the clones don't know any better. And I like how the inhibitor chip came into play near the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Right. Dean, I don't know if you got that far.
They've talked about it a good bit and how
Okay.
like for Echo it was probably fried basically, and then the only one that's kind of not immune to it is, why am I blanking on Crosshair?
Okay.
So one thing that I agree, it was like, I think what Dean said, like you got kind of a different perspective of it, but also you get a different perspective of the clones. And you see that when that inhibitor chip goes off in them, it also triggers like more aggression. And they were completely different people than before. And it's cool to see that side of it because, I mean, we know they're essentially brainwashed and mind controlled, but to actually see it happen, like on the field and through other characters' eyes, that was really cool too. And I
We've
think
kind of seen that before though in the last episode of the Clone Wars, where we got to see Rex just turn on Ahsoka and then see everybody there. So we've kind of
I
seen
guess
that
we did.
before. But it was just nice seeing it again in a different environment though, because it was now Kanan. Now that we have confirmed that, we got to see it from his eyes. We got to see it from multiple people's eyes, and then we got to see clones that didn't know about the inhibitor chip. We got to see their reaction to it, not just blindly following orders, but going, I didn't feel like killing them. And we got to see like more of like Rex's type mentality if Rex never had the chip in the first place.
Yeah, and you know how
Yeah.
difficult it is to get that chip out. So remember, it's almost like brain surgery when Rex's inhibitor chip got removed in the Clone Wars.
Yep, and we also saw somebody else get it removed in wasn't it Wolfie? Wolfie got his removed in the Clone Wars as well, and we got to see kind of some of that in like the middle of the series. Or am I making that up in my head? There was a whole episode where
I know Rex for sure.
Rex
And
had
the-
his removed
sure.
in the final season, but somewhere in the middle of Clone Wars, there's a whole episode where it's about clones realizing, and it was part of the 501st, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
They realize that the inhibitor chips exist, and only 3 of them know about it. And we get to see some of that surgery actually take place in the middle of the Clone War series. And I think it was Wolfie, whoever the 3 were in Rebels, minus Rex. We just know Rex got his removed, but it was Wolfie and somebody else. And I can't think of who the other one was.
I can't remember. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
it's been so long. Yeah.
I did see though that you were having a conversation with Josh in the chat about the difference between the comics and what we saw about Kanan is depicted differently. So his escape is also in the comics as well.
Apparently, I don't have that comic book line, which now I'm going to go try to find it if I can find it physically, and then put the digital code into the app that I know you guys both have the login for. I am behind on updating that, so I apologize to you guys too. I have like
No
20
worries.
comics once I get them uploaded. So there's a lot of reading material coming.
You have a busy week.
But yeah, I'm now interested in finding that Kanan line because I did not know there was a Kanan line, because honestly, Star Wars comics are the hardest thing to keep up with. They're just, it's like 20 different lines going on at once. Kind of unfortunate. You kind of got to pick one to stick with.
Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that they also had that in the comics too. Josh is always pointing out really interesting things to me.
I mean, is that so? Do we get more? Because right when we only just got like a little bit in the Bad Batch, so I guess we get what happens after that, or
he says that we get it's a 2-book, so probably about 48 pages. Knowing the Star Wars comic books off the top of my head, there's probably about 48 pages, and then probably average of 5 panels per. But basically, I would say the way that comic books progress, it would be worth, I would say, almost not 2 hours of reading, but 2 hours of like video screen time if I were to look at comics and how they would portray in a TV show or movie fashion. It'd be about 2 hours worth of movie content if you were to read 2 comic books.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And apparently it was during Order 66 is when his escape took place in the comics. And yes, in the first 2 issues. Thanks, Josh. Thanks for throwing that in. Hello, Luke. I see you there. Don't worry. Good to see you here, buddy. But yeah, I want to keep talking about Bad Batch, but there was something else that Disney actually released today about Star Wars. I don't know if you guys saw it with the new lightsaber.
Oh yeah, I watched the video. It's like 20 seconds. It's just a girl.
Yeah.
I watched it on YouTube. It's like 26 seconds.
I'm gonna try and share my screen.
Retractable lightsaber. It looks amazing. Yeah.
Lightsaber. So apparently it's still in its prototype phase, I think. I'm gonna try and pull the video here. But I remember talking about this. I think we talked about it on Han Talks First maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 1 week ago. And here we go. Here it is. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Wait, that's not Daisy Ridley, is it? In the video?
No, it looks like her.
I was about to say, I'm surprised I didn't see it already. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here. Bear with me, everybody. I don't really share my screen that much, so it's like always a new experience every time I do it. All right, can you see this now?
Yeah, that's the video that I watched earlier. That's it.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Nice.
How cool is that? Come on.
Oh my gosh.
That's absolutely amazing.
I wish they showed it going back down. Wow.
Come on.
Wow. So wait, which
I watched a different video. The video I watched was 26 seconds and she lit it, she opened it like that, and then she opened it facing down too, which looked really cool.
Oh, let me see if there's another one.
Yeah, it was on YouTube. But like, yeah, it was same girl.
Actually, I want to pull this back up again. So, is that Luke's saber?
Anakin's.
Anakin's?
Right. Anakin, Luke's. Yeah.
Very cool. Oh my gosh. I hope they make like multiples, not just like one figures. But damn, that's really cool.
Yeah, because I would want to Luke. Return the Jedi, Luke Skywalker, or Kylo Ren one. I think a Kylo Ren one. Can you imagine the sides coming out too? Oh, it looks so awesome.
Oh, I think we lost. Did we lose Dean again?
We lose. Sure did.
I bet I had my screen away. Oh, dang. Okay. Well, maybe he'll come back. So what else was in your notes? What else did you take away from Bad Batch?
Oh man, I have the whole episode in my notes. What's popping out at me? The training facility. So the battle simulation. I thought that was a really, really cool part, and it was all part of Tarkin testing the Bad Batch in this battle simulation. And okay, let's talk about that. Sorry, you know me, I'm all over the place, but Tarkin comes to Kamino and is talking to the Kaminoans and was just like, well, I don't know about these clones anymore, or how much we're going to be using them anymore. And they're just like, wait a minute. We have a contract. You had a contract with the Republic, not with the Empire. He's like a used car salesman.
I actually love that because I wanted to bring that up earlier. I didn't realize how much of the Caminos were going to be like basically a business. I wasn't expecting them just to show that,
that was
front
cool.
and foremost. Like I liked it was like as you said, there's a contract, and it's just, yeah, that the people that you had a contract with no longer exist.
Yeah, it's like, sorry about you. And that's why I think that's why I told you my theory about Omega. I think that's why it has something to do with the Caminos, because I think, they purposely, I think, did that just in case they need someone like that on their side. I don't know, right? I was just trying to think. We got so much Camino in this show. It's the Bad Batch's home pad. It's the pad for all the clone troopers. It was like home base. It was, like I said, it was super cool.
Wrecker straight up said, "When was the last time we were home?" And then Tech did the math and said, basically forever. And then Echo goes, "It's been a long time." So
yeah. He notched all the victories on the wall.
The fact that you're saying like that they need somebody on their side, I think you're 100% right there, just because they do refer to it as home. They didn't refer to the Republic as home. They don't refer to any of the other clones as home. And that's probably why the whole cafeteria fight scene happened, was to show the separation between the regs and them.
And who was observing? Tarkin. And like I said, that's what was nice, that Tarkin was observing, because he's there going, I don't think these clones are going to be any good. I like the jab that the Caminos did at Tarkin. Well, my clones are far superior in every manner. Shooting wise, Tarkin's just like, we'll see about that. Yeah, we'll see.
Do you think something's gonna happen with the Bad Batch that plays into why Palpatine wants to get rid of the clones and start just using regular, I guess, stolen children is what stormtroopers were? No, that was sequels. Whatever. Are they just regular people?
They're gonna be regular people. That enlist.
They got drafted because in Solo, right? It's just like the military. They like enlisted and drafted people into the Empire.
Yep, they either forced you in or they enlisted you, but it wasn't like the First Order stealing kids. That was just by choice almost.
So do you think the Bad Batch is they're gonna play some kind of role in a reason why Tarkin maybe suggests to Palpatine we got to move away from clones? That's kind of how
assume. Yeah, I would assume that, because let's say a good electric shock is what fries the inhibitor chip. Palpatine's going to fry a lot of them.
Yeah. There's so many different ways this show could go. I'm so excited. While you were talking about the home base being on Camino and stuff, which was cool to see as well, but it made me think of something at the end, which I don't want to spoil for Dean, but
if you feel the need to, you can.
It's not really a spoiler. It's just when they end the episode going into light speed. That's not a spoiler. But the way they did it
was excellent.
It like reminds, it's like, hey, remember this thing that we do all the time now? Remember why it's special. Like, it was so cool to see it again. It was like, how can you do light speed again and still make it look refreshing and not like, oh, they're just going into light speed again? It really kind of almost felt like it was doing it for the first time again. It was a really nice way of doing it.
Kind of like in the sequels where we got to be outside the ship during light speed, because that was one of the first times where all of a sudden it was like we see the side view and everything's going flying by, like the blue lights, and we're no longer in the cockpit, but we're watching from the side going like, just, I can't remember, did we see planets flying by in that, or I just can't remember. But someone, basically a different view of it kind of thing is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, like in the blue void. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, having the cockpit sequence. We've never seen that ever in Star Wars. And when you see something like that and you are Obi-Wan or Anakin in the cockpit flying through, it's absolutely amazing. It's just a different perspective, and it's amazing. Yeah.
There was something George Lucas said about light speed and creating that effect that I can't remember the exact wording, but if you remember in A New Hope, they don't draw a lot of attention to it, this light speed effect. They go into light speed, it's from inside the cockpit looking out is when you see it, and it only lasts for a couple seconds, but it's such like a impactful moment. And it was like a huge special effect that was very visually stimulating. And George Lucas said something about how, like, we're doing all these really innovative effects and stuff, but the trick is to not show it off so much and do it as if it's something that has already existed, because then it looks a little more natural. And that's something that I noticed that he did going into the prequel movies as well. Like every time you see Lightspeed in the prequels, there's really not a lot of attention drawn to it. I can't think of an example of when they really bring attention to it. Maybe when like Obi-Wan goes off to Geonosis to like do some detective work, which was pretty cool. With like going into that circle ship and then taking off. But I don't know. It was just something interesting.
Yeah,
Yes.
in which if Obi-Wan captures somebody, speaking of that, how's he going to bring him back to Coruscant in his one seater? Just curious.
It's gonna sit on the I thought we were going to get some. Sorry to cut you off, Dean. I thought we were going to get Obi-Wan Kenobi news today. I really did.
I wish.
Something.
So speaking of what Hoth off the press just said at the comment that you highlighted, and may have not just said it, but speaking of that, it felt like they really, and this is coming from the gamer IT person to me, they really overhauled that graphics engine that they used to build out this episode from Clone Wars to now. Like what, Clone Wars just came out last year, the final season? If you told me that that's the same engine that made Clone Wars,
no.
Well, I'm just saying, if you did, it's just like they just overhauled. They created a whole new engine that makes it look like, as he said, quality was basically a movie now. And I just can't wait to keep watching that quality throughout the whole. Like, give me a video game in that engine. Give me a Clone Wars video game in that engine.
I'm not sure if the whole season will be like that. I mean, look at the Clone Wars movie when it came out compared to the pilot, or not the pilot, the following episodes of season 1. Extremely different. Maybe I feel like they did this feature length style first episode as like an homage to that first Clone Wars movie to kind of kick off this new series. But I think that also means a bigger budget. So I feel like the budget's going to be kind of spread out through these next couple episodes. I don't know how many we're getting. Do you guys know?
I believe it's 16.
16. Wow.
Nice.
Could you imagine if
we're going to go to half an hour, right?
That's what I was saying. Like, what if they're all 70 minutes? They're not. But
No.
That would be overhaul. That would be too much. But
we'll take that with Obi-Wan. Give us our 6 1-hour episodes. We'll take that.
Gosh, yes. Just keep me on my bed.
Give me 8.
Yes. It was an excellent transition from the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars, which also really pushed the graphics as well. Yes, Josh.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you. Thanks for throwing your input. What was your guys' favorite part of this first episode? I know Dean's was the ending, but
yeah, you know, when Darth Vader showed up, oh my god.
I know. And he's starting I can't think of it. I can't improv. Okay, go ahead.
I never thought Darth Vader would wield a double-bladed lightsaber that was red and green. Like, it almost had like a Twizzler effect going on too. Like, what?
So for me, I think the opening is my favorite. I just think it was so well done. I feel like they took a lot of time to make that look really good, especially now that I know it's Kane and Jarrus. And so I think the intro, because it just introduced this whole new, it sounds kind of redundant to say, but it introduces these new graphics, which were, I think we were all kind of in agreement, is probably the best they've done so far with Lucasfilm animation cartoon stuff. And it's just, I fell in love with the characters a little bit more. I feel like I knew the characters more. Couldn't even tell you their names in season 7 of Clone Wars. I knew them as the Bad Batch, and that was it. But now I know each of their names, and the new characters are amazing. But yeah, the opening of this was probably my favorite part of this episode. What about you, Lando?
Well, I don't want to ruin it for Dean, but I absolutely love the end of the episode. So I'll kind of like veer over my answer. I think stemming on what you said, characters, man, just these characters were so well fleshed out. I told you, Hunter and Crosshair. Now, they may not be the center of attention for every episode moving forward, but they were kind of at center of, of the whole episode. And what's kind of funny is, Hunter's the leader, and, then you got Crosshair coming at Hunter, but Tech, Wrecker, Echo, no one's kind of picking a side. If you notice during the entire episode, nobody really, so we don't really know where their true thoughts or allegiance lies. I mean, it tends to, with Hunter, but like they really don't come between, in between them. So I thought that was interesting. So I hope in future episodes, like Tech and Echo, maybe are a little bit more on the forefront, and we get a little bit more of them in the forefront. But once again, I fell absolutely in love with Hunter in this episode. That moral compass of, he just reminded me of Luke Skywalker a little bit. Just he wanted to see the good and do the right, it's just stupid. He wanted to do the right thing. And he was the epitome of that through this entire episode. And especially near this, that's why I love the end so much, because when he finally comes around with Omega, like, I don't want to ruin anything with Dean, but when he finally comes around with Omega, it's just such a special moment for the end of the episode, for Hunter's character, where it started in the episode and where it started when he met Omega to where it ends in the episode with Omega. So that's probably my favorite part about the entire episode, was the relationship with Omega, Hunter, and Crosshair. It's absolutely amazing.
Are you a fan of Rambo?
I love Rambo. He screams Charlie Sheen when I look at him. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah, not even Sylvester Stallone. It screams Charlie Sheen from Hot Shots. Was it
I've never seen Hot Shots. No idea. I don't know. What is that?
It's like a parody of Rambo.
It's like a scary movie type Rambo.
Yeah. Old, like in the 80s.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm the old veteran here on the right on the crew. So
the only Rambo spoof I know is, what is it called? UFP.
UHF with Weird Al.
Yes.
Oh, I love that movie. Look, everybody here in the chat, if you haven't seen this movie, UHF, do yourself a favor, check it out.
It's hilarious.
Oh,
me and my brother
man,
used to watch it all the time and just crack.
That's awesome. That's a cult classic, man. Yeah, that's awesome. You know that movie.
Oh hell yeah! I used to be a huge Weird Al fan. Like, I had all his CDs.
Me too. I had the cassette tapes.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I used to watch
on Jeopardy, baby.
I used to have like, before, when you could like download YouTube videos from some site. I forgot what it was. I downloaded all the music videos of his, like Fat and White and Nerdy, and I just love those music videos so much as a kid.
What about The Prophecy or whatever? A long time ago.
A long time ago. Don't make me get my guitar out. I can sing the whole thing.
Or Yoda.
Oh my God!
Yoda.
Yoda. Yoda.
That one was great because the original was already one of my favorite songs of all time, and then he did Yoda, and it was like, oh, love it even more. Love it even more.
That's amazing. So
what do you guys got going on for your channels? Anything new?
Well,
anything exciting?
Before we go there, I just wanted to add one thing about I just want to get y'all's interpretation on the Clone Troopers armor. Did you not feel like the armor changed to resemble Stormtroopers much more? Like, I don't know if it was just me. Like, throughout the whole thing, I just feel like they redesigned the trooper armor. And I know that the reason being it, but like, if you went to the final episode of Clone Wars, which is basically where this picks up at the same time if you were to do a timeline, it's like their armor just changes, which doesn't bother me because I know what they're aiming at there. Is basically they are now becoming the next first like line of stormtroopers. But I was just curious, did y'all feel like it just felt more like they were stormtroopers than clone troopers based off of the slightly remodified look? It was very, very slight, in my personal opinion. But I was just curious if y'all had the same like interpretation.
Kind of. I mean, I did think that when they were on the cliff at the beginning, when Kanan / Caleb jumped over and the other stormtroopers followed behind the Bad Batch or clone troopers, I did feel like there was some altercations in the armor to make it look more like stormtroopers. But are you asking that question thinking that there actually is some changes being made in this story, or is that something like an art design?
Just an art design piece, because we do know that clone troopers are become part of the stormtrooper order, like the clones that they've already apparently bought, since we can basically say that the clones were bought at this point because there's a whole contract and things like that. But basically, I just feel like they redesigned the armor. Like if we took the armor from the last episode of Clone Wars, put them next to these stormtroopers that were clearly, or not stormtroopers, sorry, these clone troopers that were clearly all white armor to make it resemble more. But if you were to look like put them side by side, I feel that their helmets slightly changed. And I wouldn't say Commander, is that Bly right there? I wouldn't say they changed his armor, but if you threw him next to like his armor next to just an all white trooper's armor, I feel like they slightly modified the helmets and the armor just ever so slightly to make it resemble more of a stormtrooper. I don't know if that was just me staring at it because it's an all-white trooper, because we rarely saw those unless they were in training. So that could be because I just never see all white, because usually it was yellow, some red mixed in, never all white. So it could be just that mentality right there, which that'd be interesting if they're trying to only get newly created clones and not the old ones, just to kind of throw out there, and that's why all the armor's white. That's a tangent though, so sorry. But that's kind of where I was asking, is just if I were to slap those two side by side, an all white from middle of Clone Wars to an all white now, is it the better engine that's making the curvatures better, or did they slightly modify to start that transition over to stormtroopers?
I see what you're saying. Okay, so I actually thought that with the droid design is that it was not the droid, I'll try and find a picture as I'm explaining it, but the droid tanks, I don't know what they're called, but there was actually, compared to the Clone Wars before when we saw them, I think it's just the new game and the new graphics engine and animation that makes it a little bit more curved, even on the Bad Batch's faces too. So maybe it just has something to do with this new tech they're using, whether it's their engine or just a art direction creative choice. But so you don't think it has anything to do with story, like Palpatine's already started like making transitions?
And maybe that could be it, but I really don't think in armor trying to take over the galaxy, changing somebody's armor ain't going to do much for you. But basically, that I was just curious if they were slightly trying to transition us as viewers without really noticing, or just trying to make us already think that way, just because we've never seen an all white armor out on the battlefield except for Attack of the Clones, when the clones were first introduced. That is the only time we saw all white on the field. In the Clone Wars, it was mainly some sort of color variation to show this is who you're affiliated to when it comes to your battalion, your platoon, whatever it could be. And then white was basically strictly for training. And that's just what I was curious about, because like I think the most common color for just any old clone was green. I think that's what it was. If you just were a green trooper, that was like you were the common grunt in Clone Wars. Okay, otherwise, it was blue, red, yellow, whatever color.
So Han, that picture that you have, so I have the white one, right? Because I pulled it up, and because I have Disney Plus up on my computer. That helmet is identical to the one that's all white.
It is identical? Okay.
Identical, except it's just all white.
Okay. So it's just the all white that's making me like, and probably the better curvatures in this engine that were making me think that way. because I kept looking at it and I was like, it just looks so slightly different. Where I was like, are they trying to transition us into stormtroopers already? Like scene 1.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Something to. So, do you think going forward that it will in this show, we'll see the transition to
Oh,
stormtrooper?
definitely. I believe so. Because just the super battle droids, the ones that they basically gave live ammunition to, those were clearly designed to look like stormtroopers.
So they. So you think they'll be? I'm trying to think of how to word this. So I get the vibe that this show is going to be kind of linear. So do you think there'll be a time jump, or do you think we'll see it within, if it's 16 episodes, we'll say 16 to 25 days? Do you think they'll start making changes in that time period, or
I
we'll have
think
a
so.
time
I
Oh,
think they're going to start changing the armor. I think Tarkin is trying to get rid of the clones that he's worried about, and I may see this in the last 15 minutes. I think Tarkin's basically going to say war against Camino to make it where, because the Caminos aren't going to let up on that contract. And I just see something being like, I see bigger plots coming and then the armor completely overhauling, because I wouldn't be surprised if the final episode we see the clone factory basically destroyed.
Yeah. You see what I love about this? Now you know what George Lucas did, and this is what I love. You know, people shit all over George Lucas, you know, because he brought politics into Star Wars. But
yeah.
politics is a part of Star Wars. And I think that's what makes this episode once again really good is now we're not hitting the face with politics on this episode, but you know, like Dean and like Han, like we've been talking about, this clone army and Tarkin shutting this down. This is political. This is contracts. This is a breach of contract. This is how are they going to phase out the clones? All of this is a political game. And to see how this happens is very interesting to me. I like the political aspect to Star Wars, and I think it belongs in Star Wars. I think that's what makes Star Wars Star Wars, and George Lucas knew that. He put real political situations that happened in history and plugged them into Star Wars. So I like it. And then that's what I see. I see them phasing out the clones, and maybe we see the recruitment of the Empire, and maybe we see a full-on faction versus faction to wipe out the clones. Who knows? I mean, that'd be amazing. I would love to see that.
And I completely agree. And then also Luke in the comments said that, do we think the super battle droids that we saw were Dark Trooper prototypes?
They looked like it.
And because how much they looked like stormtroopers, 100%, like that is phase 1 beta, alpha, whatever version you want to say it is. That is 100% the start of the Dark Troopers.
Yeah, maybe we'll get more of that too. That was a good thought, Luke. Thanks for sharing that. Josh says he thinks Vader's going to show up. What do you guys think?
100%. Vader 100% will be in this show. Yeah.
Could be Matt Lanter too.
That could be the thing he accidentally leaked out, or because he went quiet after he said that. But yeah, that's right.
I mean, anytime you get the chance to sprinkle Vader in it, I think Disney's going to do it. So I think we'll see him too.
Vader sells.
Vader does sell. You can put Vader
Ahsoka sells. Ahsoka could pop up in this.
Tano Tuesday.
Oh yeah, what is the release schedule of this anyway? Now that you mentioned that, is it going to be Tuesdays, Fridays? Okay,
Fridays.
So episode 2 will be this Friday, or do we have to wait? Okay,
Friday, new episode.
So they're doing the usual, like basically what they did with Mando on Disney Plus's launch.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and now the Bad Batch.
And then Loki.
For any Marvel fans out there, we're going to have Loki and Bad Batch at the same time on Friday. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, see, Loki starts on Friday. Yeah.
Then we're going to have 4 Marvel movies at the end of the year.
Crazy.
Where we can have time to watch all this. Like, I'm kind of serious.
Not to veer away from Star Wars, but how did you guys think the Falcon and Winter Soldier ended? I thought it ended brilliantly. I really liked it. And I didn't like the show. I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't like the first 4 episodes. I absolutely loved the last two. I loved episodes
Really?
5 and 6. I didn't like
So
the first like 4.
I love that Falcon is now Captain America, but let me put it this way: Rotten Tomatoes was completely wrong by giving it 53%. I hate that Rotten Tomatoes did that. They are
Wait,
completely
critic or audience?
critic.
53?
I know.
Really?
And it basically a lot of people are trying to bring like politics into that, and 53% is a little bit ridiculous. But in my personal opinion, the last episode was the worst episode, not because Captain America and the reveal and things like that. The issue was I felt like I jumped in halfway through an episode. Like I either skipped an episode or I jumped in like the first 20 minutes were already playing.
Hmm.
And that bothered me because it was like all of a sudden I'm now in the city. And like I already knew what his armor was mostly going to look like because the comics and things like that. But I was sitting there like, how did Winter Soldier, Falcon, or Captain America, because nobody was calling him that yet, he was still going by kind of a mixture at that point. But basically, how did we get there just on the start of the episode? And that was my issue, was like I felt like I jumped in the middle of it. But overall, once I got past that, episode was great. If I were to give it a critic rating, 53 is dumb. It was in the 80s, but it was definitely, for me, it was like 83, and every other episode was above 83. But it was just Rotten Tomatoes didn't know what they were talking about there. They were too harsh on that final episode.
Yeah, that's odd to me. I mean, I don't think I agree or disagree. I was kind of like just okay with the show. It's not my favorite. It's not, I don't hate it. I thought WandaVision was worse for me.
What? See, I thought WandaVision was better.
I thought they were neck and neck. Like for me, it was I really loved the action scenes of Falcon and Winter Soldier. WandaVision had the better comedy and still decently action scenes. But overall, both had a story. But I loved what Falcon and Winter Soldier was tackling. I guess that's what really spoke to me, is like it was messages that need to be said that were true in Marvel comics, and then speaking on just the fact that these comics were written in the 50s, and then in today's times it's still such a prevalent message, like still lines up today, is horrifying. But at the same time, I'm just glad that Marvel is still not afraid to tackle these messages. Sorry for kind of getting deep there, but that's my personal belief.
The themes and the motifs of Falcon and Winter Soldier is what made me like that more than WandaVision. The topics of race, the topics of war, the topics of how our government treats us in America, domestic, and that I really loved.
Not even just our government, it's worldwide government is what that was tackling at.
Right. Yes, but yes. The thing about the show though was the ending really didn't do anything for me. I enjoyed it. The second to last episode I thought was the pinnacle of that series. That was my favorite episode. I thought it had everything it needed in there. It was very what's the word? It was very deep. I don't know, that second to last episode with the boat, all the relationships being mended and getting the suit introduced. And my favorite part of that was Bucky commissioned the suit. Wakanda made it. Bucky, he had to tell them, here's what you do with the suit. Put this color on it. Put the star on it. Make sure it says Captain America without saying it. So Bucky granted his new friend this position, and like him commissioning the suit is pretty much saying, I approve. I'm okay with you. You're my friend now. Let's do it. And that meant like that was very heartfelt, and they didn't have to say anything. It was, and like Falcon was just like, I know, it's like that's the relationship. They won't get open with each other, but they know they love each other. And I thought that's what's really cool about it.
Except for the final 2 minutes, they had to try to be funny and go, "You just called me Cap. Don't get used to it," or whatever he said. Like, I was like, really, like y'all have ignored that the entire time, and then you did that.
But that's exact. So everything you said, Dean and Hot, that's exactly why I like the last 2 episodes more than any of the other ones. They really just spoke to me, and it just speaks about volumes about like everything that's going on. But so that's why I like those 2 the best. So But yeah, it was really cool because the action was better than WandaVision. But for me, since maybe because I'm older, just the whole Dick Van Dyke to the Bewitched to the Brady Bunch to Full House, that really hits it with me. And that's why I absolutely, because like after they got through all those tropes, it turned into a Marvel show, right? The last few episodes.
Let me say, if the entire WandaVision series was just like the first 3 episodes, that would be my favorite because I love the period piece stuff.
Yeah, that's what really drew me.
My mom like forced me and my brother to watch Bewitched with her, to watch I Dream of Jeannie, all this kind of stuff. So I grew up with it like how Wanda did, and they nailed it with that time period and that type of TV making. That was my favorite. And every time they strayed away from that, that's when I lost interest. Also because Marvel has a set standard for what their comic book appeal is, and like the budgets, the look, the spectacle, and the television shows just are never going to be on that par. And I think that's what my issue was, because it's not the same. They're trying to be like Marvel, but it's a bunch of television filmmakers who don't know how to make a movie. Movies are a lot different. And it's just with WandaVision, I felt like they kept like teasing a bunch of stuff and then didn't deliver on anything.
Mephisto.
I never more than just Mephisto though. There was a lot there. Man.
The one that bugged me was the engineer. A lot of people say that they didn't build up this engineer character, but they really did. I went back and like with my lady and we looked at it, and it was.
I texted an engineer. I did this with I texted an engineer. I called them. They like mentioned the conversation with the engineer 3 episodes in a row, and then they bring in the engineer, and it's like, is it going to be a scroll at the end of this, or what is the engineer like? Give us something, and then nothing. It's just they're an actual engineer.
That whole sequence, they get in the car, they go to this tent out in the outskirts,
middle of nowhere,
find the engineer, they get this truck, and then they ram into the wall, and then she just ends up walking through it anyway. It's like, then what was the point of all of that? You're gonna walk your ass through there. You didn't. It was just like, I feel like I wasted so much time because I don't know. I don't want to get into it. But
that's when it turned into the Marvel. Right, it turned more into like the Marvel show near the end.
So let's talk about that real quick then. Like, are y'all concerned about Obi-Wan when it comes to, because it's not the same studio?
I'm concerned about everything Star Wars. I'm always on the edge of my seat, man.
No way, Ewan McGregor, you can't go wrong. I'm sorry. I think if it's a piece of shit, I think Ewan McGregor will turn it into gold.
He will.
Well,
I'm talking story. If the story sucks, kind of, I think Ewan McGregor will do the best he can do, and he will make us love it. Yeah, and he will make us love it.
And I won't argue that, but the one thing I will say is the cast of Obi-Wan is phenomenal. Like, love that. Like, I cannot wait to find out who some of those actors are. The actresses are. So excited to find that out. But I almost wonder, Star Wars isn't known for star power. And right now, this series has star power. What is that going to do to what we're used to? Or is there going to be forcing people on the screen when they shouldn't be? Like, what are we going to get there?
You could argue Mandalorian kind of did the same thing.
5 characters versus 15. There's a big difference, is my only thing there.
Yeah.
And then the way that Mandalorian handled it was, you get an episode, you get an episode, you get an episode, and then now it's just Pedro and Grogu and some CGI, and then final episode we put everybody there. So they handled the guest star power situation in a very logical sense, but we're only getting 6 episodes and there's 15 stars. I'm not saying possible side characters, just 15 stars that will get a lot of screen time, if you ask me. And how do you divide that among 6? That's 3 people per episode.
If you ask me, fire like 13 of them and just concentrate on Obi-Wan, Uncle Owen, Aunt Beru, and Darth Vader. I mean,
I won't argue that.
That's the story we want.
Hours watching Obi-Wan take a crap. That's how much I don't care about anything else. But that's the thing with Obi-Wan. So look, here's my biggest yes, I'm nervous about it. I think it's going to be great. 1, because of Ewan. 2, because of the time it's set. 3, because of Hayden. It's all there. Everything's there. But one of my concerns is, I got multiple. 1 is Deborah Chow. I know people love her, and I know she did a great job on The Mandalorian. I'm not, you know, taking that away from her, but she is a television director. I want this to be approached as if it's a movie-sized film. Like this is the last. It's being treated like a limited series, which means, most television, if you watch like in the past, the first season is very like finding your footing, and then season 2, for the most part of shows, is like, wow, this is great. It's so much better. And that's what I'm afraid of. Deborah Chow has never been. She's done tons of television, but she's never done, except for Mandalorian, like almost more than 2 or 3 on a show at once. She's going around all these places. I think she's more than capable, definitely. But there's also the management above her, which are also, there's some television producers involved, which I find weird that they haven't put on the credits on IMDb yet. And it only lists Kathleen Kennedy and Deborah Chow, but there are 3 other people that they haven't listed yet, which I find to be weird. But they have worked on television as well. And Leslie Headland, from what I've heard, I don't know if this is true, no one's reported on it, is also helping with Obi-Wan, who is the girl doing the Acolyte. Woman doing the Acolyte. But so yeah, Deborah Chow is a concern for me. The other one is that it's on streaming. I mean, Disney Plus is still new, yes, and they've put out quality stuff so far, but I don't want them to become a Netflix. And Netflix is like, the stuff that's on there is like streaming jail. Like, they do a terrible job marketing. You don't know about half the stuff that's on there. There's hidden gems that you'll never know about, and they don't market their material, and they just put quantity, hardly like the 5% quality stuff. And so far, Disney's on a good track record.
But I think there's a difference there.
But beat the streaming wars right now. They're trying to be the best, and they're going to put a lot of shit out there.
Yeah, and the reason why I don't think we have that to worry about Disney is because Netflix, us 3 could get together, pitch an idea, and we fund it ourselves. But Netflix will make it like they'll fund part of it if they like the idea, and they'll greenlight us, and we could pitch something, and it just has to be Netflix exclusive. And I'm not saying that your work, Han, because I know that your work is going to be fantastic, but I'm just saying in general, I'm not a movie maker. And if I were to pitch something, I don't know about Lando. Lando would be probably great at making the music scores for me, but I'm not a movie maker where it's just going to be like, it's going to look like I'm trying to make something serious, but it'll be an all-time comedy kind of thing. Like that one show, that one movie that you had me watch with the greasy long-haired guy when I went out to visit you a few years back, with the really bad actor. Really bad. I can't think of the name of it.
Wait, what?
You had me watch a really, really bad movie, so bad that it was good.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. The artist?
Was it The Room? Or the artist?
The artist? Hey, Mark.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Mark.
Yep, that. You had me watch that.
Another lava
James Franco played him.
But
Hey,
it was such a bad movie that like it's gold, and that's what I would make. So Netflix would allow me to make that. Disney ain't gonna let me do that. They're not gonna greenlight me. It has to come from their studio. So there's a big difference between Netflix and Disney. Is Disney's only putting their stuff out there. They're not gonna go let anybody put their stuff on. Versus Netflix is like, you're good enough, and it's like, this is my first ever movie. You're good enough.
Yeah, and you're right, because Disney, unlike Netflix, they invest in the production. Netflix does not. They produce stuff in a distribution way. They actually don't create things. They buy licensing and distribution from things already made.
Yeah, they're just a publisher. That's all they are.
Yeah,
Stranger Things is their baby. Things like that is their baby. But when it comes to just anything that gets hidden underneath like piles and piles of garbage, that's not always them. So Disney's version of Netflix is Hulu. And that is what Hulu is there for, and that is why Disney is not combining them together, if you ask me, is to protect Disney Plus from the garbage. Hulu is where they'll put the garbage. Disney Plus will forever be nothing but Disney Studios.
Yeah. Considering this topic, Book of Boba Fett, for everyone, it kind of seemed like a last minute call. Almost. It felt that way. Did you feel that way at all too, or is that just me?
No,
And
I
do you think
completely agree.
because I feel like they knew during the pandemic, season 3 of Mando was going to be delayed. So they were like, what can we do in the meantime? Especially with, I hate to mention it, but all the Gina Carano stuff that's going on too. It's going to delay stuff because they have to rewrite, etc. And I feel like a pandemic had something to do with this pushback. And so they were like, what can we do in-house really quick, limited series? Tamara's free. Maybe we should do this. So that concerns me too, because that is pushing more towards the quantity over quality type thing. So it's like, I know Obi-Wan's not going to be that way because it's been in development for 6-7 years, 6 years. And I know it's going to be great. Ewan's going to deliver regardless.
My belief about the whole Book of Boba would be more so they got the cast together when they were reading scripts, and people realized how much people were going to love that and how much I can never say the actor's name right. So can you say the actor's name for me?
Tamara Morrison?
Yeah, Tamara Morrison. Basically, I feel like they brought him in and they saw that he loved what his role was going to be in Mando, and then they kind of offered, we can do a 3 to 6 episode series of just you if you're up for it, and we can go down this line of character. I don't feel like that was something that they just kind of pulled out and said quantity. I feel like it was a combination of quantity and quality, because originally they were saying before Book of Boba was even announced, the rumors were that we were going to have Book of Boba and Mando season 3 in like Mando season 3 December, Book of Boba was February, and that was what Bootstrap was, or Spurs. Bootstrap was, can't remember the code name that it was, but they were saying that it was going to be back to back Mando type shows, and we had been hearing that for like a year and a half. So I'm actually not too concerned about that because the rumors lined up with the announcement. The only problem is that Mando season 3 was pushed back from that. So that's the only thing that pushes against the rumors. But because we were hearing about the rumors for over a year and a half, I don't think it's a rush just because the length of time we're hearing rumors. And so far, a lot of those rumors have been not perfect, but pretty dang close.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the difference too with it is with the Mando, right? We can call it the Mando verse, right? Because we're going to get the Book of Boba, we're going to get the Ahsoka, we're going to get the Republic show, Republic
Rangers?
Night Rangers of the Republic. So right, we're going to kind of get this like Mando verse. So if Disney Plus came out and said, "Hey, we're getting a Boba Fett show, but it's like how Boba Fett became a bounty hunter," well, now you're going back to Solo. Now you're going back to, oh, we're getting Solo, but did we really need that Solo story? No. Do we need that Boba Fett story? No. This is staying in the Mandoverse, which is going to be connected to the bigger picture of connecting all the shows together. So, like what you said, Dean, like I said, I think there is more thought process into it where it's going to connect, and it will be a better fleshed out show just for that simple fact.
Like, I really feel like they probably pitched the idea to Morrison, and then Morrison was like, yes. Like, I really feel like that's probably the way it went, because Morrison forever was saying he wanted to play Boba. Like, I know that he went to Comic-Cons and things like that just because he wants to, just like Ray Parker. Like, there are certain Star Wars people, like actors, that want to never leave and keep playing their role.
And they can do a flashback. They can give us a flashback of how he escaped the Sarlacc pit if they want, right? Give us just flashbacks of stuff he did when he was younger. And that still connects to everything.
If you want to give me the flashback of how he became the most one of the most proclaimed bounty hunters in the galaxy, just release Star Wars 1313, the video game, for me. I'll play that.
After hearing you guys talk about it, it made me realize that maybe it was intentional. Maybe because I believe that when Favreau approached Kathleen Kennedy about this pitch for a new Star Wars television show, it was for Boba Fett. It was not for a random Mandalorian. I believe he wanted to make a Boba Fett show, and there was some pushback. I don't know, because I talked about on my show, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that Bob Iger talked about this concept art that convinced him to greenlight The Mandalorian, and it was a picture of Boba Fett holding Grogu, and showing a bunch of other Mandalorians. It's a beautiful picture. I forget who drew it. It might be Doug Chang, and that's the picture that set off this series. And at some point it was changed to an unknown Mandalorian, and the rumor was it's because of the drama that happened with the, what's the guy's name who made the Fantastic Four, the most recent one?
Oh, Josh Tank. I want to say Josh Tank.
Josh Trank.
Is that right?
Yeah, Josh Trank. He wrote the original story for Boba Fett, and apparently there was like something happened there that made them not able to move forward and develop it at that time. I don't understand why, but probably a spec script that hadn't expired yet. And so then it was changed to an unknown Mandalorian, Din Djarin, and maybe Favreau was like, I'll do Mando if this works, you let me do this, one for you, one for me type thing. So I feel like that maybe it was the goal to work towards the Boba Fett thing. So it could be good.
But
It could be good.
we could always go back to my theory of the whole reason why Boba wasn't part of the whole breaking onto the ship is because Luke was going to be the one getting Grogu. And if they wrote that forever ago, Luke and Boba would have to fight.
I'm sorry, wait, explain that again. What did you say?
Remember how I said in the season finale of season 2, how Boba basically was just a distraction.
Oh, when they separated them?
And
yeah.
the whole reason why I said Boba didn't go on the ship was because how do you explain Luke and Boba's history?
Right. Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
Luke would be going for the kill at that point of what?
Exactly. I don't know. I'm excited either way. I can't wait. I think, Obi-Wan's number one for me. I think I can die happy after I see that show.
So for Obi-Wan, who do you think Sung Kang is playing? I think Han personally. Please tell me I'll get that.
I don't know who Sun Kang is.
Sung Kang is the guy from Fast and Furious, and his name is Han in Fast and
Oh,
Furious.
the Fast and Furious
Oh.
2.
That's why I
Yeah.
said I think Han.
That would be fucking funny. Justice for Han. I have no idea. I don't know the guy. I've never seen him act before, so
He's a good actor. The person I'm most excited to see is O'Shea. I want to know what O'Shea's role is in this.
I don't think I know who that is either.
O'Shea is Ice Cube's son.
Ice Cube's son.
Yeah. He played in Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, he played Ice
Yeah.
Cube in Straight Outta Compton.
And
He's great.
yeah, I'm really excited to see his role. Like he's who I want to be one of the stars that gets, I won't say too much screen time, but a lot of the screen time.
I saw someone say that they would like to see O'Shea and who's the woman? The one who said she plays with lightsabers on Instagram. Can't remember her name, but they were saying that they might be. They think they'll be in the Inquisitors from Rebels, which I thought was interesting. Which I don't think it'll be them. I think one of them will be. I think the woman will be a Inquisitor. Maybe not one we've seen, but
that's who the villains are in that time period. I mean, Star Wars Rebels. I mean, right? The Sith Inquisitors. So, and they have to do with Vader. And that's right. So it all kind of go hand in hand. And if Obi-Wan can defeat an Inquisitor, that would bring Vader out to face his old nemesis again, right?
It's making me so happy. This is like this is what I want. This is like this is the thing I've thought most about. Like the original trilogy people, they have like their things they think about, like, oh, what were the Clone Wars, at that time period or whatever. And then like prequel trilogy people had their things they thought about. When one of mine is what happens in that time period between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. And I've thought so much about it. And there's so much you can do, and it's like 6 episodes. That's it. It's like I can't wait. It's gonna be fantastic, whatever they do. And did you guys see the set leaks? I think I still have a photo. Let me see.
Yes, I've seen them all. I peeked at them. I can't stay away from it. It looks like
so blurry.
It looks like the homestead of Uncle Owen. I mean, come on, that's not a spoiler. I mean, it's gonna be in the show. I mean, there's another leaked where like this looked like a phone camera like went along. It looks like tattoo. It looks like tattooing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not real shocked.
Sand.
I mean,
blue screen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Yeah, okay. It looks like the Owens homestead. Okay, I don't think that's a big spoiler, in my opinion.
It's massive.
But like you were saying, Han, do we get a facial shot of Luke Skywalker? And that is a very good question.
I'm just curious how old Luke will be in this, and where is this all going to take place? Because
10 years after. 10 years after.
Okay, he's going to be, and then because Vader avoids Tatooine, that's the whole reason Obi-Wan picked there to hide Luke. So I'm really interested how they're going to bring like Vader into this.
Yeah, I don't think Vader's going to Tatooine.
No, Obi-Wan's going to be off planet, right?
I feel like there has to be some Inquisitor fights on trying to protect Luke.
On
he's
Tatooine?
gonna have,
yes.
Yeah, he's gonna have to protect Luke about something.
Han, you were saying it on your show, was it yesterday? Like, yeah, we need to know why Uncle Owen is so hell-bent on keeping Luke away from Obi-Wan. Like, why? Like, why are you so hell-bent? Like, because all we're thinking is, you know, as an original trilogy guy, and then like you see, you do watch the prequels, but then all you're thinking is, okay, Darth Vader is a bad guy. He doesn't want Luke to turn into Darth Vader. Why? Like, how do you know so much about Darth Vader? Like, how? You're a moisture farmer on Tatooine.
Exactly.
Like, how do you know about the massacre of Darth Vader? Like, how do you know this?
I read the news.
I mean, but he knows that it's Anakin. Like, he knows it's Anakin.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. That's why I speculate maybe it's an Inquisitor fight that comes really close to Luke. Luke doesn't see it, obviously, but it hits Owen. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. That's something happens, and that's like a testament to the original actor in A New Hope. He did it so well. Him and Alec Guinness, like you could tell, like they created this backstory for themselves.
Yes.
And there's something there.
Yep.
And it's gonna be
it's
great.
a whole other year.
What I kind of envision is a fight takes place in front of the hut, and basically Luke is trying to get out and see it, but like Owen already had to run away, and basically he's trying to protect Luke inside of the hut.
Maybe Luke almost dies, right?
Knocked out or something like that.
Maybe he gets kidnapped.
I think Aunt Beru does something sketchy with some Inquisitors, gets pushed into the hole, dies, and then there's a new Aunt Beru in A New Hope, but it's really Palpatine as a clone.
It's Luke's hand. Luke's hand did it all. Time traveled backwards and used Luke's hands to do everything.
Hey, time travel's real. It's canon. It's canon.
They went in the world between worlds and went through one of the portals, and they put Luke's hand in a jar, and it just.
So Josh said he thinks that it'll end with Vader thinking Obi-Wan is dead. Interesting point of view.
No. When I last met you, I was you were the master, and I was your apprentice. No, there's no way he thinks he's dead.
But before that, he did say, "It's a presence I haven't felt since."
It's not a presence I felt since. And that's it.
Since my mom. That will be what Vader references in A New Hope. Interesting. Yeah, definitely can. I see what you're saying there, Josh. I am shocked that we've had at least 4 people watching this whole entire time. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't liked the video already, please go ahead, give it a like. Appreciate it so much. I wanted to ask you guys again if you have anything coming up on your channels that you wanted to talk about or share.
Well, so for Sithtalkers, it's always ongoing. I'm kind of like Han over there, man. I'm always busy. So I still do weekly podcasts, Star Wars podcast episodes. They drop every Sunday. I am up to, like I said, over 100 now. But so every week you're gonna get a new Star Wars episode. My brother's been really, really busy, so maybe Han will do one with me soon, because I've been doing a few of them by myself. Yeah, I've been doing a few of them by myself because my brother's just been so busy with his job. But yeah, so maybe we'll do one here shortly, because all I need, because I think I've done in the last 3 weeks, I've done 2 of them by myself, which is fine. But like I said, weekly Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the podcast has kind of turned into a couple segments at the beginning, and I always do a list that I find online somewhere. And this week was 10 characters who made the Star Wars universe worse and why. And this list was absolutely bonkers. Because it just used so many different variables. Like one would be because of how the character was written, and then one would be because of the massacre they did across the universe. So it didn't really follow like a good pattern. And the way they ranked people was just mind-boggling to me. But this one was fun. Music Time with Lando is back this week. Watto wrote it's an original song. I didn't use anyone else's music. I wrote the song this time, and it's Watto centric. So the song is Watto's, and then the Star Wars Encyclopedia fact is actually Watto this week, so you can learn about Watto, which was kind of interesting if you didn't know about him. So, but yeah, the podcast, and then also YouTube, Sithtalkers at YouTube. We do reaction videos. That's pretty much where I spend a majority of my time anymore. So I drop about 3 reaction videos a week, and we're kind of, me and my brother, we're kind of not in the Star Wars community on YouTube reaction videos. We're kind of in this Bully Maguire community on YouTube, which is
turned like so many.
But it's crazy because I'm crazy with how many people watch our videos, but like we're kind of part of this Bully Maguire community, which is so much fun. And then I also do Star Wars trivia live streams every Tuesday night on the YouTube, and those are always a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm a busy guy, man. I do a lot of editing, just like you, Han. I'm always in the editing room.
Yeah, your YouTube page is doing well. I see you got like
they get a lot of too. They get, like I said, we're on the road to 400 subscribers. So please, if you like the reaction videos, check it out. We're on the road to 400. And like I said, we started as a Star Wars podcast YouTube channel, switched to a reaction channel, and most of those subs are because of the reaction videos. So we're growing as a reaction channel, which is kind of fun. So, just kind of dipping our toes, just like niche. You, Han, dipping your toes in different things. So it's just fun.
Yeah, YouTube sucks, man.
YouTube is so tough. But hey, Han, kudos for the shout out. And I don't watch the Star Wars Theory nerd thing because they do that every Monday. So where they have they have like almost 1 million people watching them. And that was my suggestion to you, is like, hey, let's us get a show and do a weekly show and try to give them some competition for the lower level Star Wars guys.
What was the name that you wanted to call us again?
A sabacc table.
Yeah, that's right. Because I came up with something else like that I texted Han about, where I was like, we could call us the Nerf Herd, and then when we bring
that's awesome.
We could bring in a 4th person and call them the Nerf Herder. And then
I think that's great.
That was one of my jokes to Han. I don't know because I literally came up with that today. So like I was like, because I know that we were talking about us 3 creating just a weekly podcast. So I was like, we have a few different names that we just all need to come together on.
Yeah, and it's not just the podcast. It's kind of like what they do. They just kind of hang out and they just kind of talk about stuff, kind of like we did tonight. Right?
Yeah, like I won't post this on the podcast feed because it's just kind of just hanging out. But yeah, for like anyone who does watch or is listening now to this little stream, we've been talking for a while trying to figure out what we're gonna do. Maybe like we'll like do like channel hopping. Like one day we'll do it on my channel, and then the next day we'll do it on Lando's, and then on Dean's the next, something like that. Just mix it up, just to have like, just and kind of talk about whatever and just hang out and just, have some fun, do different things, different shows. And like, so if anyone else has name suggestions, we're open to anything. But
really quick, sorry, not to interrupt, really quick. I want to show everybody, and like you said, talking about channel hopping, and we can, I think you suggested we can do like trivia. And look, man, I take the time to do this every week. So when I do my trivia, can you share my screen, Han?
Oh yeah.
You're in control.
I'm
so used to being in control when I'm on here. So I take the time and I actually do a PowerPoint presentation every week, and I do the trivia questions, and so everyone can see them, and I make it look as professional as I can, make it. So and it's a lot of fun doing the trivia every week. I always do 15 questions, and I'll get your guys' opinion. I got everyone's opinion. Get the last slide here. This was what should I do next week? The Star Wars toys one got the most votes
Ooh.
at the end of the night. But I'm curious what you guys would pick for the trivia.
For you, just with all of your posts when it comes to Twitter and Instagram, my mind instantly just goes to Star Wars toys. Like your toy collection stumps mine. I just have some rare ones up there. Or like, but in my personal opinion, you could tie toys and video games together. That's just my child at heart, though, saying that.
Yeah.
Dude, every time you post on Instagram, I look at it and I show it to my girlfriend.
So here you go.
Here's what else he got.
There, I got this today. It's sold out, but I got one. There it is.
Oh my god.
So so when I get that, I'll post it, obviously.
And
that was for May the 4th today. They like, I literally got an email and it said, "Hey, May the 4th from Funko." I clicked on it and they had this on there and I just bought it immediately.
Wow, good timing.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you, Lando? Because I know I told Han this. Did I tell you about when I found a Kylo Ren first edition? Like the white. Yeah. I found it. It was obviously sold out because it's a first edition. But this was like a year or two after they should have all been sold out. I happened to drop like my keys or my phone on the ground at Target because they're the only place that gets the carbonized and first edition type stuff. It was underneath the rack in like perfect condition, just covered in dust. And I pulled it out and I'm like, holy, like, let me see if my camera's working yet. Just so I can show you, like, it's in pristine condition. And I was like,
oh, that's amazing. And I don't have any of those white. Yeah, I don't have any of the white ones.
Like, I have plenty of carbonized ones. But
I did get the Mandalorian carbonized one when it released at Target. Yeah, I was one of the few that got one. Oh,
so, like,
very nice.
I had to wipe off the dust, but like when I found this underneath, I was like, dang, I just got lucky.
Nice.
Yeah. Avoiding cursing since it's not my channel.
The white boxes are cool. I like the newer boxes. They've been coming in. I don't know. They're kind of like the oval, right? They're not square. The Black Series figures are coming in like different kind of boxes now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I actually haven't bought any of those yet. I only have the Black Series carbonized.
Oh, here's my Asajj here. Because this is awesome, my Asajj. Like, yeah, the boxes are Now, like I said, they're not completely square, but yeah, this is an amazing figure. So good. Asajj Adventures.
Oh, it's pretty cool, Josh. Yeah, it's always cool to find things like that, like stuff that's special to you, but not always to anyone else. So
that's awesome.
I don't have a lot of figures, but I do have a I'm trying to see if I see it on the shelf. I think I packed it away. I have Mace Windu from Phantom Menace, and right next to him, when I have them set up, is Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction, and they just stand right next to each other.
That's awesome.
And they're both beautiful. At some point I'll dig them out and try and find them, but yeah, they're pretty great. And that's like the type of shit you guys can expect when we do this Sabacc table or Nerf herd or whatever, whenever we get around to like actually doing it. I mean, this could be the first episode, who knows, but we'll have to like figure out if we're like doing it like, I think I can commit to bi-weekly. I'm not sure if I can do weekly. Bi-weekly sounds good to me.
As long as it's after normal work hours, I can definitely hop on. And then I could probably figure out how to get my PC to host a server for us to play the old Battlefront 2.
That'd be
a cool episode just for us to like be gaming on that, because that thing doesn't require too much when it comes to PC anymore. Graphics cards make it nicer, but that's about it. You should be able to run it just about on any integrated processor at this point. So like I can try to figure out if I'm able to do that for my machine.
Yeah, please do. I'd love to try that. Put you guys' names up here.
Yeah, man, we're just three guys that love Star Wars.
Trying to make our way through the universe. Okay, I think we're gonna close it out because I am starving. Dinner time where I am. But
yeah, see, for us, it's like it's already been past dinner time.
Yeah,
9:30. What time is it? 6:18.
Yeah, almost 9:30. Yeah.
Yeah. But for those of you that stuck with us the entire time, I think it was whoever 3 of you is watching right now. That's pretty amazing. Very impressive. Josh, I know you're one of them. And thanks for moderating. I appreciate it. And we'll come back soon, all 3 of us. And I, of course, will be back on Monday on this channel with Hunt Talks First. And you can find Lando at Sithtalkers. And you can find Dean at 4-Legged Gamer. And Dean, you haven't posted content in a while. Hello? I think we lost Dean again. Anyway, Dean posts cool stuff like unboxings with like video game related stuff. And 4-Legged Gamer is like themed after his dog. So really cool concept. And then find Lando, Sithtalkers podcast, and then the Bully McGuire reactions and stuff like that. All good stuff. And happy May the 4th to all of you. And oh, Robin, you just got here. Robin. We're just about to end. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. May the 4th be with you all. And it was good to see you again, Lando. And Dean, if you can hear me over there.
StreamYard hates me. Oh, real quick. On Disney Plus, check out all the other stuff that dropped today. There's a short Simpsons, Maggie, The Force Awakens.
Right.
I watched all of them today. Excellent. It's like 3 minutes. There's a vehicle fly through the Millennium Falcon and Star Destroyers. It's really short. Excellent. And then there's a Star Wars Biomess, and you travel through planets: Hoth, Tatooine, Sorgon, Crate, Mustafar, Vader's castle on Mustafar, and then Ahch-To. And you just do like quick fly-throughs on the planet. So super cool.
Oh, very cool.
Check those out. Check those out on Disney Plus. They all dropped today.
That reminds me of the thing that dropped Thursday last week. They announced a new Star Wars VR game, Mandalorian Pinball. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, it looks sick. I'm releasing the video on it tomorrow on my channel. No one's talking about it. I guess it's a VR game, but they announced it at the Oculus game event. They were announcing all these new games coming to VR, and I of course have played all of them so far, but the pinball one looks amazing. You like walk into like, do you know the what's the name of the big Star Wars collector? What's his ranch called, or his house?
Oh, the Obi-Wan, the Rancho Obi-Wan.
Yeah. So you like walk in there, not that specific place, but it's similar to that, like a huge Star Wars collection house, and you just go up to different like pinball and video games, and you can play them in a virtual world. It looks really cool, and then you get to like interact with Vader and welcome back, Dean. And
I don't know what's wrong with this thing. So, like StreamYard hates me. I don't know what it is. It's literally StreamYard is what is saying that it loses communication with everything.
Are you on Google?
I'm on Edge. And
That's
I've also tried Chrome. I've tried Edge and Chrome.
StreamYard is like exclusive to Chrome.
Yeah,
not
Chrome.
Exclusive, but it's like it works best on Chrome.
Okay, maybe I need an update on Chrome, but both of them keep booting me for some reason. Where it's just like I'll be talking to y'all guys, like you guys, and then everything stops working, and then it's like I see you guys laughing at me, and I can't even say anything. I'm just like, it's my mouse is working. It won't let me unmute myself. I don't know. It's like 40 minutes at a time.
Thank you, Josh. If you guys need links to either of their channels, Josh went ahead and put it in the chat for you guys. So even if you're watching this on the replay, check the chat so you can get their links to their channel. What were you saying, Lando?
I was going to ask you if you've gotten through any more High Republic stuff before we sign off here, because I haven't asked you.
No, actually. I think I told you I started the audiobook for Light of the Jedi, but I decided I wanted to read the physical instead.
Did you? Yeah.
Well, I think I've had like a lot of stuff go on with like what's been going on recently. I haven't, and I just recently started. Like the company I was with before the pandemic is slowly opening back up and starting to do some movies and TV shows again. So it's a tough transition, but there's just a lot going on. I really want to, especially after talking to Christina and just hearing how much it's going to tie into like
awesome interviews, by the way. I just want to say that.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
interview.
love it too. I hope she comes back soon. She's doing a lot. She just hosted like LA Comic Con and a bunch of other stuff. She's all over the place, man. But you should try and talk to her too. Have her on your show. She went on another smaller podcast recently too. And so she branches out and does a lot of independent things like us and then big stuff too. So I don't know if you would want to talk to her. I'd be happy to intro you guys an email too. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what she would think about dick time, but maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't do that one with her on there.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't do that. It would be a conversation. If I like you told me you kind of like, dude, I've never done anything like that. So like it would just be a straight, like just conversation thing. It'd be cool because I've never done anything like that. So
that's so funny.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
It's just picturing it happening in real time without any prep, like just jumping into it. God, that's so funny.
Oh man,
we gotta find segments like that to do on like the Sabak table or Nerf Herder, like just fun things like that we can do, and you could do songs and
yeah, absolutely.
That'd be fun.
I can do the Watto song I did on my podcast this week if you want. That's how we can end the show.
Yeah. Do it. Let's do it.
Is that what you want to do?
I'd love to.
Oh, you're hitting. Okay. Now, all right. So on the podcast, I sang it in my voice, but then at the end of the podcast, I actually sang it as Watto. So what do you want? Do you want me to sing it or do you want Watto to sing it?
I said we go with Watto. Just use the fourth.
Yeah. What do you think we want?
Oh my god. Oh man!
All right,
if this is good, we may have to buy you a Watto mask. So the next time we do this.
Oh boy! I got the Jar Jar mask, and that was a complete fail because you couldn't hear me through it.
So, for everyone watching, this will be the last part of the show.
This is it.
Fade out after this.
Let me get my words.
So again, while he's getting ready, find them on social media. You can find them on YouTube. Everywhere, and we'll be back again, maybe on Lando's channel next, and then we'll just have some more fun. So thank you all for being here, and now take it away, Watto.
Yes, thank you, Han. So this song yes is called Republic Credits. Here we go. Yes. Republic credits just won't work. Little Annie, get back to work. I don't care if you think I am a jerk. Republic credits just won't work. You need a new T14 hyperdrive. 327 Nubian has caught my eye. I think you'll ship one day. Yes, it will be mine. No money, no parts. Now get back in line. Republic credits just won't work. Little Annie, get back to work. I don't care if you think I am a jerk. Republic credits just won't work. Qui-Gon Jinn, oh please, your mind tricks won't work on me. Republic credits just won't work. Qui-Gon Jinn is a certified jerk. Republic credits just won't work. Let me keep Jar Jar, that might work. And clean those shelves and get back to work. Republic credits just won't work. This is my shop. I lay down the smack. Brother, let's go to the Outback. Go to the Outback. or to the outback.
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.